I've always like seen them on Instagram, like pictures of Blue Mountains.
Yeah.
And yeah, we actually got to ride there, and she paid for a helicopter flight for my birthday to go around, and I was like, fuck, this place is sick. Yeah, I like it now.
Go, go, go! And you're doing it, he's in! That's a massive crash. And it's happened immediately! This is amazing! Big shot, and it's lights out, and away we go!
And obviously for you, you've come down to Sydney. You're a fan of the Blue Mountains, aren't you? Do you like the Blue Mountains?
Yeah. Actually, we rode in that town.
Yeah.
On my birthday in March.
Yeah.
And I've always like seen them on Instagram, like pictures of Blue Mountains.
Yeah.
And yeah, we actually got to ride there, and she paid for a helicopter flight for my birthday to go around, and I was like, fuck, this place is sick. Yeah, I like it now. It's cold, but
Yeah.
I like it.
And what about your other hobbies outside of riding bikes? Like, what do you like to do?
I'm into a bit of full driving and camping.
Yeah.
Into a bit of that, but yeah, nothing else really. Nothing gets my blood pumping. So
Yeah.
but yeah, full driving's pretty cool. It's a bit techie in a sense with which line you got to pick. But, you know, you got to look like, oh, that bog hole is going to be massive. So I know my car's not capable to go through that. I'll go through this other bog hole that's not as deep and go through that one, and then just going camping as well, like going to beaches and getting to sort of remote spots that people, not the general public, can get to, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's sort of sick to just go and find isolated spots and chill out with the mates and missus, and have a good time.
What about the full drive? What kind of full drive have you got?
At the moment, I've got a Holden Colorado.
Yep.
And just sort of put a bit of mods on it, a bit of lift and wheels, and
Yeah. You're a bit devastated that Holden's disappeared? Or not really?
Yeah, it's a bit of a like, why? Come on, dudes. Because my little brother's named Holden.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, my dad's a bit of a car fan a little bit, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Did you watch like Supercars and that growing up though, through your dad, or not really?
Not really, no. Like, I watch a little bit of it now, but I don't know what to look for. I don't know what's going on. I see a bunch of cars riding around, so it's like, maybe if like I got tips of someone I can understand how it goes, like even MotoGP, like I'd like to watch that, but fuck, I don't know what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, why are they putting their leg off when they come in the corners? Like, why would the car be drifting out? Like, I don't know. I've never been taught, so I don't,
Yeah.
I can try and watch it, but then I just get bored and go do something else.
Yeah. You were talking about before, like with the camping and stuff like that. How did you meet Zoey? How did that interaction start? And what year was that too?
Through my mate.
Yeah, right.
Through the same mate that got him into China.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think, what was it, like 2019, 18, something
Yeah,
like that?
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't
right.
exactly remember years, but yeah, back then, and just talk to a mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, seen her.
I
and-
was friends with the mate separate.
Yep.
Yeah, to Chevy. We all like live pretty close.
Yeah.
So we had like a few mutual friends, but I just never met him before. We were just sort of never caught up with the friends at the same time.
Mm.
And then one day, it was just a party. I think it was his birthday or something like that.
Yeah, I just remember sitting in the pool and she walks in front of me. I was like, oh, hello. And here we are.
Where like obviously you're living in Queensland. What's your house look like, or what's for the listeners at home? What's like the Chevy life?
Wake up at 4, go to gym and go to work.
Yeah.
Come back home and sleep and repeat.
Yeah.
But just like at the moment, me and Zoe live together in Ipswich. Just a 2-story shit box.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Not a rural property.
Nah.
No, that's what I was thinking.
Oh yeah, we used to. Yeah, like
Yeah,
when I was a kid growing up, Dad always had like 200 acres and things like that. So growing up, always had acreage. So
Yeah, we both lived on acreage.
yeah,
Like sort of out the same way near Gatton. I lived on 20 acres with my parents, but when I was just graduated nursing, become a nurse working in Ipswich, just a bit closer, night shifts, closer to Chevy's work.
you
Just a lot
don't want to drive
easier.
40 minutes from home at 7 in the morning after you're just done in that night shift. So it's
Yeah, right.
moving the town a bit closer. Like the gyms for us is like 3 minutes down the road. My work, if I'm late, which is normally the case, I'm like 12 minutes. So it's just a good little hub to be in. And then I've got a couple of compounds out near Boona. They're like half an hour. And then the compounds like Oppies and that out near Gatton, they're like 40 minutes. So
Just
they're all
work,
more.
work life, riding sort of balance was a lot easier.
Yeah.
Being closer to work and finish earlier, and then could go riding instead of having to drive and get stuff and drive again.
Yeah. And then my old boy, he's a bit old now, so he's only 47 or something like that. But yeah, he's like, fuck, I don't want big acres. Like, it's a lot to take care of, like fences and mowing, and you got to put cows on it to keep the grass down, and then this little bastard wants a moto track, and then I got to give him machines to. So it's just, he's like, fuck it, he's just happy with his little 5 acres or 4 acres, whatever he's got now. Yeah, chilling. So yeah.
You were saying off air before that you've done a bit of not just riding on a bike, but you've done horse and bull riding, because that's how. How did that all come about? Like,
just living in the country.
Yeah,
it's pretty. I was basically the only bike person out in that little thing where I grew up. Everyone else was all these bloody horses and bull riding. So that was pretty much it. And my mate that I sort of met through high school, he was into bull riding. He was actually really good at it. He just kept getting fucked up, but he was really good at it. And he's like, "Oh, come training with us," and I was like, "I'll give it a go." But yeah, I was like, "Fuck no, this thing's gonna hurt me one day," and I don't know what it's gonna do. So I was like, "No, it's all good, man. I'll stick to my bikes."
Yeah,
same with the horses too. Like, you just go for a pony ride, and the fucking thing would look at a piece of grass and be like, "Fuck, that's different," and take off 100 mile an hour, and you're like, "Nah, I'm good. I'll stick to my bikes."
So what do you think though of the bull riding compared to the bike? Did it kind of give you that adrenaline rush even though you didn't continue with it?
It did, yeah. Like, it was like that. Fuck, what hanging on? Like, fuck, what this thing's gonna do? But yeah, just that. What's this thing gonna do? Was like, nah, I'm good. Like, yeah, I'll steer back to bikes. Like, if I probably got over that, probably could have gone somewhere in it. But yeah, I was like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Have you ever been offered, like, by any of your mates? Have they got like any go karts and stuff right around like Ipswich or wherever to bring out and have a go? Have you ever been interested in 4-wheels at all?
Not really, no.
Not really.
I've been like on trophy trucks, like how they fucking like race across desert and shit. Yeah, I've always like that interests me. Like when they do the Fink.
The Fink,
yeah. When they do that, like that always like that kind of truck always sort of been interested to try and give it a go. But I've heard a lot of money, so people aren't going to give you like $500,000 truck to go and fuck. So yeah. It's like, I'll stick to bikes again.
Have you actually met Toby Price or any of those guys? And has anyone given you advice who's done both?
No,
or not really?
Not yet. No. They're all fucking flat out. Like Toby, he would be in Australia for 2 days and then back off to Abu Dhabi and then over to the States and then back to Australia. And yeah, he's just hard man to sort of tee up time with, sort of thing. So yeah.
How's the sponsorship work in the FMX world though? Because we see a lot of them. It's kind of like a circus in a way. Brooke and I were looking on the screen. How does it all like work sponsorship wise? Like, do you get sponsored as a rider or do you get sponsored as for the event in FMX?
You get sponsored as a rider, yeah. So like for Kingston, he gives me clothes, and then I'll wear the clothes at an event to rep his brand. And same thing like a bike shop and things like that. Like, I got a deal with MCS. They're like a distributor for a lot of things like air filters, truck wash, and like bike wash and things like that. And there's a bunch of legends there. They've helped me out a lot. So they're just more personal sort of sponsors in a sense. Yeah. You just sort of slap them on your bike and go to the shows, and that's how they get the exposure. And now you do the Instagram tags and the TikTok and do photos and stuff like that. So yeah, it's more personal sort of things you got to target to get your sponsors out of things. So
have you been sponsored by any like the energy drink brands yet or not, or just more so just been there while you've been riding?
More so. Like, I've sort of been talking to Send It.
Yep.
Energy. They're a company down here somewhere. They just sort of started, and he's got to sort of deal with MCS. So sort of going through that, just trying to sort of work out the nitty gritty of it all and contracts and things like that. But hopefully try and get some sort of energy drink sponsor. That would be sort of good. Something like it's sort of hard because you can't just be like, hey, give me like $3,000 a month. And it's like, well, why would I give you that straight away? Yeah. So it's like you got to try and like build your relationship and be like, okay, like give me products for a year, and then after a year, then turn into money and sort of try and get the ball rolling like that. Like, I've got a knee brace sock.
Yeah, I saw that on Instagram actually.
Yeah, Goat brand.
Yeah,
and he's a legend. Like, he'll just send me stuff. Yeah, like just socks and that, and I'll just put it up on Instagram and things like that. So, but the way I sort of sold it to him was like, hey man, like I'll buy like at a discount code, like I'll buy at a discount rate and I'll buy all my socks. And then after a couple months or whatever, a year or whatever you think, then snowball from there. And I think it was like 3 months later, he was like, here, dude, like start taking me stuff. Cause I was like, dude, they're actually good socks and they actually work. And that's the biggest thing is like, I'm not going to rep something that I don't run or wear or like. Like if I don't like it, well, I'm like, well, I'm not going to rep your brand just because you're giving it to me. Like, so I just more take on things that I like and comfy. Like my Alpine Star helmet, like they don't sponsor me. They don't help me out at all. But I just like their shit. So I just run their helmet and boots. So yeah.
Yes, it's very organic on your social media. Like Dan and I were saying, we saw the socks and that there, and it's like you said, it's a true promotion because you're actually living in that, breathing that brand just naturally. Yeah.
And like you wear them, like every time you ride, you wear them. Whether you do motocross or freestyle, like I do both at the moment, sort of thing. Like I just ride track for fun. Like if it's too wet, if it's been pissing down rain, like it has been the start of the year, take the track bike out and go for a ride. So yeah, it's good to slap on the socks and the boots. So and know you're safe and comfy.
Yeah. What you said, like obviously you go to the gym and stuff in the morning. Is there a certain, because Brooke does fighting and stuff, is there a certain routine that you do for the gym to get, fit for the bike in a way?
There is sort of certain things you do. I've got a trainer, Braden Muggins from Western Australia there, Prime Strength and Conditioning. He helps me out a lot.
Yeah,
he's a freestyle rider as well. So it's sick to be like, when I was trying to learn Supermans, I was like, hey man, like when I do Supermans and try and come back, like I feel weak, like I feel like I can't come back. And he's like, all right, we'll do more core and do more like back or whatever he made me do. So he pinpoints what freestyle sort of has to be and then bases around that. So like when I was doing gym before, like just go in there, lift iron and get big. And then he's like, nah, you can be big, but you're just going to be a slug on the bike. Like you got to have your fitness and cardio high to be able to have quick explosive motions to do seat grabs. And you got to think you only got a couple seconds in the air. You can't just be like old grandma and slowly get into the tricks. You got to get into it and
right away.
Yeah, be quick about it. Yeah. So that's the biggest thing I learned is that you can't be fat and unfit and smoking ciggies and drinking piss all the time and go jump dirt bikes and expect to be good. You got to be somewhat fit.
Yeah. Have you also had, since your big accident in April, have you had to work with physios as well to get back?
Yeah. Had not so much physios because I don't really trust them in a sense. They just sort of give you a bit of bullshit unless you find a good one. And I haven't found a good one yet. So if anyone's got a good one in Queensland, in Brisbane area, let me know. But yeah, it's just more of just talking to Muggins and getting me like he's had injuries as well. So it's like, hey man, what can I do to do this? And yeah, he's been real helpful in that kind of thing. So and a lot of what are they called, magnesium float baths or whatever they are.
Yeah.
You just lay in the water and float around. Especially for my ribs and my back, mainly my ribs, but even just sitting down, there's pressure on it. Laying in bed, I couldn't lay in bed. Like I had to sleep on the couch for like 2 weeks. Couldn't even lay in my own bed. It would just hurt too much. And then it finally got the cast off, and then got a moon boot on my ankle, and I could go to the bath and lay in the bath, and it was the best feeling ever. No weight on anything on my back, my ribs, nothing, and it was really good just to have that weightless and pressure off everything. Like it's been good.
Want to hear more? Each week we will share the hottest clips from our guest interviews on YouTube. But to hear the full episode, make sure to subscribe or follow us on your favourite podcast platform.